Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Torsar here with another sports talk video. Today, before I get started, and please know this is not going to be clickbait, I just want to say a couple things first. I've been saying this at the end of the videos, but at some point, I do need to ask if people are liking these videos. Consider dropping a subscription. I am trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. And I know it can be a little bit obnoxious sometimes when people are constantly, but I said I'm not going to do it every video, and I probably haven't even been doing it one out of every 5 even. And I promise the more I get, the less I'm going to talk about it. Those guys that are constantly, pandering on, they have they have like 1 million subs and they're still like, oh, only 35% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. Bro, you got 1 million subs, chill out. You know? Let the honey flow downhill sometimes. But either way, with that, I'd like to say anyone watching, clicking, commenting, especially, thank you so much. Like the video, dislike the video. Don't be afraid to disagree, please. I promise you'll never get oh, you don't know what you're talking about, At best, or at worst, I'll just ignore you if you just say, no, you're wrong. Like, just try to add a little something into it. Now, I'm going to get to the topic I want to talk about, but I don't know how much time I can fill with that. So I want to do a couple quick hitters because there's a couple things I want to talk about, but they're not enough for their own video. Just a couple little, how about let's call this Turrible Tuesday. First off, that Detroit Pistons assistant coach. Bro, what are you doing? For one, that's extremely obnoxious to start chirping at Luka, and then Luka starts chirping back, and you go, just play basketball. Yo, seriously, eat that 50 piece. Second, salty 49ers fans, or people just don't like the Eagles. It's getting disgraceful at this point. Oh, the Eagles, they had the easiest schedule in the league. Didn't hear that all year. Oh, they beat a rebuilding Giants team. What? So you want to hold them to a technicality? Yeah, the Giants are still rebuilding, but they weren't even the last team to make the playoffs in the NFC. They were a decent team this year. Okay? Record notwithstanding. And so what are you saying with the 49ers? Oh, they beat a hospital team in the 49ers. So wait, they lose their QB. It's not the Eagles' fault. They had already not lost one QB, but two QBs. Then they lose Brock Purdy. The San Francisco 49ers had game after game after game during the regular season to do something about that backup QB situation, and they don't do anything about it. And now all of a sudden, they just lose the QB. I'm sorry, did Nick Bosa go down? Did Deebo Samuels go down? Did Christian McCaffrey go down? I could keep going on and on and on. None of those guys were injured. So they lose Brock Purdy, and now all of a sudden, that makes the San Francisco Giants a hospital team. So what you're saying is, minus the last pick in last year's NFL draft, they were a mediocre team at best? Come on, guys. Obviously, that's just silly. The Eagles beat who were in front of them. They were the best team all year. I think that'll be proven in the Super Bowl, but either way, we'll see. Now, there's some people on Twitter. This one guy, John Schneier, he's some Giants podcaster. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. He's been on this Twitter rant for days about Saquon Barkley. It's actually kind of get him just downright annoying at this point. He's just making obvious statements about the running back position or just making blanket opinions that he thinks are facts. Brother, Saquon Barkley already said he wants to be a Giant for life. Okay? So no matter what you think about aging running backs, the dude already has pretty much said outright he will give us a hometown discount. We are not going to have to pay the superstar running back price for him. Okay? Calm down, bro. Let our GM be the GM, and that includes all you very cringy Twitter GMs. I don't even care what team it's for. Let the GM do their job. They're not even interesting talking points. I can't even imagine being a podcaster for just one team. What a oversaturated market. like cover some other topics or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Tell me if I am. So, one other thing I'd like to note. I'd just like to say congratulations to DeMeco Ryans for getting the head coaching job of the Houston Texans. The only reason I even bring this up is because I thought he said he wasn't even going to interview for that job. Maybe I'm hearing that wrong, and I would not blame him if he wanted to. It's just amazing what they've been doing. Please, Texans, if you don't do good next year, don't get rid of the guy. Even 2 years. You should be giving anyone, any team. This is what annoyed me about the Giants for years. They became the Detroit Lions. Oh, this coach didn't work out. Oh, 2 years in, get rid of him. Oh, a year later, get rid of him. 2 years in, Ben McAdoo, gone. Pat Shurmur, gone. Joe Judge, gone. Now, as good as those, decisions look now, I mean, we got lucky that finally they landed. I guess the dead clock is right twice a day. Finally, we got Brian Daboll. Okay. Anyway, congratulations to Miko. Glad to see he got an opportunity. Well deserved. Also, I was going to make a video today about Kellen Moore and the Cowboys situation. I think I'll do that one tomorrow because it's kind of taking picking the low-hanging fruit because I know it's the Cowboys, but you got to do it because the Cowboys are a popular team. But anyway, I'm going to save that tomorrow. On to what I really want to talk about, and that's, will Sean Payton be able to save the Denver Broncos? Now, I have the advantage. You might not. You'll hear it breaking news and stuff on ESPN, but you won't get to see it on Around the Horn or Pardon the Interruption or any of the shows that are about to come on because this just broke. So part of the advantage I have, I get to go home, look at the bottom line ticker, talk about whatever sports I want to. So let's look at the story. The New Orleans Saints and Denver Broncos have agreed to compensation in return for Super Bowl winning head coach Sean Payton. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Saints will receive the Broncos' 2023 first-round pick, number 30 overall, and their 2024 second-round pick for Payton and the Saints' 2024 third-round selection, sources said. How is the Broncos pick that year, number 30 overall? I guess they have to maybe swap it with someone else. Maybe someone can clarify this. Obviously, the Broncos weren't the third-best team this year. This clears a way for Payton to sign with the Broncos to become the franchise's next head coach. The Broncos had traded their first-round pick to Seattle Seahawks in last year's blockbuster trade to acquire Russell Wilson. Oh, okay, here it goes. But then acquired a first-round pick from the Miami Dolphins in the trade. You could see, guys, I saved reading this just for you. As foolish as that might make me seem now, that's all right. In the trade that sent Bradley Chubb to Miami last season, that pick originally belonged to San Francisco 49ers, who sent the pick to Miami that allowed them to pick Trey Lance in the 2021 draft. When he agrees to a contract, Payton replaced Nathaniel Hackett, man, that was a bad decision, who was fired during his first season as the Broncos head coach. Now, as bad as that is, this is just getting old in the NFL with this hire a guy, 1 year later, fire him. Imagine if they had done that to like Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick or, any number of head coaches that didn't have a good first year and turned it around. Either way, Denver also had interest in Jim Harbaugh, DeMeco Ryans, but we all know how that went. Now, let's look at the Denver Broncos roster because obviously the thing you notice first when looking at what they had to give up for Sean Payton and what they gave up last year for Russell Wilson is these guys aren't going to have too many draft picks. So they're going to be working with mainly the roster that they have, barring free agency signings. And you know what? I know right now this might be a little bit early to talk about the roster and everything. So anything I say, I just want to say it with the caveat that some of these people that I talk about, they may not be on the team going forward. So this is obviously an ever-changing situation. But the main thing I'd like to point out is, as horrible as it seemed last year, look at Russell Wilson's numbers. Now, I know an 84.4 rating, that's not too great. 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I mean, it was still a positive touchdown to interception ratio. He had 3,500 passing yards. And I know it may seem like, and he still was over that Mendoza line of the magical 60%. Not too much further over it, but still, it wasn't below 60%. It's not good. Definitely not great. But it's not downright atrocious like it might have seemed, considering they had the worst offense in the NFL last year. So you want to question, well, how much of that, it seemed like Russell Wilson was done. So how much of it actually was Russell Wilson? And how much of it was just Nathaniel Hackett's coaching staff just being downright awful? You see Jerry Jeudy, he still had almost 1,000 yards. That was only in 67 receptions, and he only played in 15 games. So, again, not great, but not horrible either. Cortland Sutton, they still have some talent on this team. They still have Melvin Gordon, right? He was injured. They still have Latavius Murray, right? So they have some decent pieces on this team going forward. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to turn it around. I mean, that's going to be, especially considering who Las Vegas, the Raiders, get at QB. It's going to be a very tough division. People thought it was going to probably be the best division last year, and it just didn't end up being that way. The Chargers always just seem to disappoint no matter who they get. They'll probably be better this year. We'll see how they'll do. They were the team that landed Kellen Moore, and I'll get into that tomorrow more. But I don't think he was the problem in Dallas. I don't agree with the move. They needed a fresh start, but anyway, I don't want to get too deep into that. And you see, they're not going to be able to add much to the roster. I don't know. I mean, right now, if I'm a Denver Broncos fan, I'm obviously ecstatic. All right. But again, you're going to be playing in a very competitive division. The AFC champions are in your division. Another playoff caliber team is going to be in your division. And let's see what the Raiders do. But it's going to be tough sledding. They're going to be better than last year because that's not very hard to do. Is he going to take them from just being god-awful to contend with the Chiefs? I don't think so. I think Sean Payton's always been, at the worst, slightly overrated. I don't want to call him just downright overrated because he's a good to great coach. I've never agreed with a team giving up draft picks for a retread. The price that they just paid for him, and I don't mean to say the retread word, with a negative connotation. Sometimes it can be good to get a recycled coach. Some of these guys, they're worthy of it. And you could see the problem teams get sometimes. They get into trouble, like just constantly going for that hot new name, the Joe Judge, that's the first name I thought of just because, being a Giants fan, obviously. But, I mean, we've all seen it the last, 10 years or so. It's just got so these teams, the coaches don't count against the salary cap, and these rich owners just have no problem just year after year just getting rid of these guys. Like, Houston, what are you even doing? Like, come on. And then you see they get these super long contracts, like what the Panthers did with Matt Rule, and then they get rid of him, or what the Cardinals did in this offseason with, his name's even slipping my mind right now, sorry. They re-sign him in the offseason, and then he has that spat with Kyler Murray, and then they get rid of the guy this offseason. It's just like, what are you guys doing? I'd prefer to see someone else just get a fresh start. But again, if you're a Broncos fan, you're ecstatic right now. Will he turn the team around? Yes. Will they make the playoffs? Right now, I'm going to say no. I don't think he's going to be enough. I don't think Russell Wilson will be enough. I don't think he was the main problem last year. He took a lot of heat, and for whatever reason, as much of a NPC as Russ can be as far as his media personality goes, I'm not calling him a bad guy. I'm not actually calling him an NPC in real life. He seems like a very intelligent person. He's just so vanilla in his comments, and what was it? I forgot the meme. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Russ, you just lost, whatever many games. Broncos country, let's ride. Like, dude, it gets hilarious sometimes, but honestly, it got to the point where I've never even liked Russell Wilson. I honestly felt bad for him last season. But anyway, just to wrap this up, the team still has a lot of talent. And, they do have, at best, a top 15 QB in the league. They're at least not one of the worst. They're at least not looking for one. And that's more than a lot of teams can say. And look, as I'm saying this, actually, Tony and Mike are talking about, pardon the interruption. Sorry, they are talking about it first. But either way, guys, let me know what you think. As usual, if you got this far, thank you so much. I appreciate every comment, every like, all the dislikes, any viewership. Let's keep growing this. Until tomorrow, stay healthy. Peace.